I'm just not going to touch anything. Oh
Tell me
man.
that twice.
Oh man. Let me make sure it's actually running on everything. And yeah, yeah. All right. So we're back. We're back, everybody. It's third time's a charm. Let's go. I guess the Henderson Silver Knights don't want me to talk about them, but I will talk about them regardless. So notable alumni, because I keep trying to get to this. Barry Melrose, who's ESPN's hockey guy.
Hey,
Bob Bugner, who's current head coach in the NHL. Gerard Gallant, who's a head coach in the NHL, of course, and Panthers famously sent him in a taxi when he got fired. A lot of Detroit Red Wings. Thomas Holstrom, Ken Holland played for them as well. And of course, you know, Hall of Fame Detroit Red Wings GM, put together all those good teams. Chris Osgood, you got Adam Oates, Darren McCarty. Back when they were in San Antonio, they were affiliated with the Florida Panthers, so a few guys that are recognizable in the NHL today. Even the Coyotes, they were also affiliated with Coyotes. You got Evgeny Dadonov, Oliver Ekman Larson, Rocco Grimaldi, Danny Heatley, but I think that was a rehab assignment more than anything else. Jacob Markstrom and Keith Yandel all passed through San Antonio while they were there. They are called the Silver Knights. One, because the Golden Knights are the NHL team, and that only makes sense, gold, silver. But also, Nevada is known as the Silver State, so that makes sense for them. And then you also have that last season, the AHL was kind of weird. Some teams didn't play, some teams did play. The Pacific Division did play, and they had an actual playoff, not for the Calder Cup in the AHL. They just played a playoff series, and they lost. It was basically a division championship, and Henderson lost their division championship final to Bakersfield Condors. So there you go. They play at the Dollar Loan Center, Charles. Or actually, they will play at the Dollar Loan Center. It hasn't been built yet. It will open up next year. It holds 6,019 people. It will also be home to the Indoor Football League team, the Vegas Nighthawks, which is also owned by the Golden Knights. So they have a whole night thing going with the team. And the Big West Conference basketball championships will be held there as well. They currently play at the Orleans Arena in Paradise, Nevada, and they will be moving into their new home at the end of this current season. So they will move in this season, just at the end of the season. And their current arena is the former home to ECHL team, arena football team, a lingerie football league team, an arena soccer team, and they hosted the 2021 U.S. Figure Skating Championship bubble. So that's it for that. And you know what, Charles? I'm just sick of this. Let's just go to the freaking award from our non-sponsors. I don't know how long this one's gonna last, so let's just get into it. People, places, things, concerts, what have you, that we've been enjoying over the last week. Oh, man. I'm frazzled with all these technical difficulties. It completely has
I'll
thrown me
take
off
it.
my game, to be honest. Because I don't know what not to touch on my computer at the moment.
I feel like I just need to know.
All right, so
I mean, I can lead it. I can
yeah,
lead it
yeah,
for
go
you
ahead, man.
if that would make your
Yeah,
life easier.
yeah.
So,
Just for now, yeah. Just gonna recollect myself.
Francisco, sometimes, I've been doing video games too much, but that is what prominent in my life, then so it is. It is prominent. It does what it has to do, and it goes from there. And some games are very intense. Some games absorb a lot of my time. Some games teach you how to be a father. If you heard our show last week, Resident Evil Village. Congratulations, Andrew. We're happy for you
Octodad
for being a
as
father.
well. Yeah.
Octodad, that's another one. Not our Andrew, different Andrew was why Betty shout out came from. But, not all of us can be a Ethan Winters. Sometimes we have to get out of spooky season and go to a very relaxed kind of environment. And as I play right now, because I realize I'm not doing all the bonuses because I have a gem requirement, and I'm not going to replay the stuff to play the bonus levels. So this is where I part ways with it. But as we speak, this game taxes the brain. a little bit, not too complicated. This game is cute and cuddly and good for the soul. This game is charming. This game is good for anybody who has a Nintendo Switch or for anybody who just needs something a little bit different. If you have the opportunity to play it one time on a Wii U, you get a second opportunity on a Nintendo Switch. This game is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. You, Toad, and your buddy Toadette are on the hunt for stars, for coins, for gems to fight some big ass bird named Wingo to try to do right for everybody in and of itself. It's fun. It's nothing unique. It's based off the side missions that were in Super Mario. No, it's Super Mario 3D World, right?
Yes.
So Super Mario 3D World and had a little bit of a cameo in Super Mario Odyssey, and Nintendo went and just kind of did its own thing. I got it for like $8 on digital because free stuff. You can get it on your Switch for like 40 and probably on your Wii U for 60 because prices like that are jacked up. But it's more puzzle oriented. It's about a good 4 or 5 hours of your time going there. I'm not a completionist. I just get what I can in the main run unless there's stuff that really expands on the story lore wise. There's no lore here. You are just trying to get your gold, but you're basically a pirate. It's almost as if it's Nintendo's version of what City Slickers. I would totally. You want to make live action anime movies? Hear me out now, Nintendo. We're going to copy and pan this up the same way we did with Aces, which was our TV movies. Hear me out now, Nintendo. We're going to copy and pan this up the same way we did with Aces, which was our TV show on Netflix. But I would pay money for the animated Captain Toad movie that's basically City Slickers with Toad and Toadette, voiced by Billy Crystal. And you know what? Bring in Toadette as Meg Ryan. You can have a When Harry Met Sally kind of reunion. It's obviously, game's not hard, can just be challenging if you don't think to a certain degree. Whole lot of fun, very cute, very adorable, very good to kind of get away from high intensity because I've also been playing Deathloop. You already know my opinion on it, but I don't like to give reviews on the show until I've completed them fully. I think I love it. I burnt myself out of it over the weekend, though. I did because I popped in like 10 hours. I was sick, so I didn't do much this weekend. So, but I'm 32. I can't put in like the 50 hours straight and not, especially since it's a loop game. But I don't want to talk about one game and go from this one. Captain Toad, I played like the last 2 weeks when I was waiting, dressed up as Woody from Toy Story at my place to hand out candy. I had the Switch in hand waiting for those kids. It's something that you can take on the go. It's something that you can play on your TV, something that you can play during a podcast and eat up a lot of time. I can't trade it in, of course, because I bought digital, but it's something that even maybe if I need a slow moment as I'm about to turn it off and put it onto a different game because I've hit my max with it now, that I would definitely try to revisit again for its uniqueness, its fun, and its charm. So Captain Toad, Treasure Tracker for your Nintendo Switch, probably also get for your Wii U. The Nintendo Switch version has the bonuses from levels that come from Super Mario Odyssey, another fantastic game, which I think I did put as a non-sponsor we talked about in the past, but definitely play that game. A gun to your head, you're only allowed one game to play on your Switch. It's Odyssey, not Breath of the Wild. Why? Because Breath of the Wild isn't everybody's cup of tea, especially if you hate breakable weapons. But any person who hates Odyssey, they're a Parasophilus, and we don't trust them. So that's my non-sponsor week, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for your Nintendo Switch and for your Wii U. Promo code City Slickers. Wouldn't you pay for that? Literally,
I would.
Meg Ryan.
I would. Hell, you could even. I mean, yeah, you can even tie in the Super. Like, it could be like a spin-off of this new Chris Pratt Mario movie or whatever.
Billy Crystal as Toad is something I never thought I needed until I saw it in my head.
I honestly think that would be a great idea. Right? It's voice acting, so you don't have to get him. I'm sure. Of course, you'd have to pay him, but maybe not as much. I'm not sure. I'm sure he'd do it. He hasn't done anything in a while. Yeah.
Yeah. He can't be famous for just watching the Clippers suck.
I'm totally behind this idea. I am totally behind this idea. All right. So my non-sponsor, I'm gonna go with a food-based one. Because, and I just want to make sure I do not do anything that makes my computer crash. So, it might have been the PS2 game running in the background too. That might have actually done it too, because it's been running smoothly since I've not loaded that up. So, whatever. Anyways, so Charles, I went out over the weekend. On a Friday night, had a good time, right? So it was getting late, stuff like that, and someone was craving food, some Asian food. I'm like, oh man, it could be open this
If you
late
say
at night.
payway, I'm throwing my phone at you.
If I say what?
If you say payway, I'm throwing my phone at you.
Oh hell no, no
Just
man.
saying.
No, dude. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not gonna do that to myself. I'm not gonna do that with someone I'm going out with, right? I'm trying to be a good person and treat them right. I'm not gonna just. Ugh. Uh, I know I put ketchup on my subs, man. I know I haven't watched The Sandlot, but I'm not that trashy.
Ah. Ah.
Anyways, something late at night, it was midnight and stuff, and we just have the hankering, right? Just have the hankering, and I'm like, you know what's a good place nearby that has some good Asian food, Asian fusion stuff? It's a place called Moshi Moshi down here in Miami. They got a few locations. Moshi Moshi, they got sushi, they got sake, they got tapas, they got all that stuff. They got these donuts, Charles. I got donuts.
Is that those powder donuts?
Yeah, powdered
They're, they're,
donuts.
they're, they're like your little, they look like bows, but they're not bows.
A,
And they're
l-
so good as
a
hell.
little bit. They're not shaped like traditional donuts. It's just that
Yeah.
it's fried dough. Come on, donuts are fried dough, right? So,
It's like you knew I had orange chicken before I jumped on the show, by the way.
um, so yeah, and the person I was going out with is a legitimate Asian person, and she's like, yeah, they did it right. They did the noodles right. I'm like, okay, good, all right. None of this payway stuff, Just saying. All right, they actually, I think they actually have actual Asians working on the food here, not some Cuban guy in the back. so, so yeah, Moshi Moshi. I've been to them countless times already. Their food is good. The ramen is good. I like the ramen there. Okay. Some people are a little too picky with their ramen and stuff like that. Those guys, it's pork broth. It's broth. But actually, I've had some pretty shitty ramen in one restaurant, but I'm not gonna call them out because I don't even remember their name. But it
We're
was
nice
it.
people.
Yeah, but they're in Miami Lakes. They're in Miami Lakes, and I'm like, I should have known. I'm getting a little too far from the center here of culture. It's a little too close to Hialeah, and I've had Asian food in Hialeah, and most of it's not good. The Chinese place that I get my, Chinese food from, the sweet and sour chicken, all that stuff, they do all right. They do all right, right? But
You know what? When I lived in Miami, I only had Chinese food like twice
yeah,
because I couldn't find the place.
yeah.
I needed.
But Moshi Moshi, I like them. I vibe with them. They got some good stuff, and they're 24/7. So if you got the hankering for something, anything, check out their menu, man. They got it all. They got it all. Let's see, and just look at their menu here. Gosh, where is Oh, I guess they have it all like this. Never mind. Oh, you have to go on Uber Eats to see their. Oh, there it is. Well, we're gonna look at it anyways. Um, and yeah, Charles. I've had the tempura. I've had the gyoza, of course. I have the harumaki. Plenty of that. I love I love a good ramen. That's for sure. Um, they've got all your traditional rolls that you expect to be there, right? You got your sushi, of course. You got your sashimi, and yeah. And I always go with the pork tonkotsu ramen. Okay, give me all that. Give me all of that, please. Just pork. There's something about pork belly, man. There's some good stuff. There's just something about what is it? Umami, right? That's the other sense that our tongues can taste or whatever. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
something about that umami, man. That's the real treat right there. So yeah, promo code Cuban guy working in the back.
Oh, we're getting canceled.
We should have been canceled a long time ago, dude. we, for real. Yeah, no. We are just working on At this point, this is overtime, man, and we're getting away with it. All right, Charles.
Captain Toad has their DLC is $6, but you get 18 tracks, and I will be buying that
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Black Friday.
yeah. Black Friday, get one of those Nintendo cards for cheap. Get
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean for $6 for 18 more courses, that's about 2 hours. That's one of the few like DLCs I can justify to because you already have a game that's no story, so I just want more puzzles.
Yeah.
Make my brain work.
Yeah, that works out. That definitely works out. And yeah, I kind of wish it was on the Wii. I probably would have bought it on the Wii U if it popped up on there. But regardless, all right, Charles, we're back to Gottlieb's Goons.
All right, we're back.
And
All right,
this
we're,
is
we're
and
done
this
being
is
nice.
this has been
We went from Jigglypuffs to Wigglytuffs. Don't mess with us.
this
Parasophiles.
has been Charles. Yeah, you've had many petty sagas over the course of our 3 years on this show. Right? We know your relationship with Aaron Boone, right? We know your relationship with Vince McMahon. Of course. We know that. We know that.
Especially.
Right? And we know your proficiency for calling out frauds like the 76ers. We know this. But there's one in particular that has crescendoed, has finally ripened. And it's bearing fruit finally, and we are picking the fruit, and it's very low hanging fruit right now, folks, and that's the beauty of it. It is very low hanging fruit, and look, we are not above low hanging fruit on this show. In fact, it's basically a lot of the premise of the show of why we started it. Your relationship with Aaron Rodgers, not the Green Bay Packers, but Aaron Rodgers in specifically, has been one of the more interesting sagas because I know how much you love being right about this man. I know how much every time the Packers make it to the NFC Championship game and they falter, and I know that Ron Burgundy image of you with the heart on is so right, so true. Okay? The Dana White load size, the Guy Fieri load size, all of those gifts are so true. But Charles, over this past week, it has I can't even I don't even there's no load size that can encompass what has happened. Aaron Rodgers we talked about it last week, but it was only the beginning. Last week was only the beginning. Aaron Rodgers tested positive for COVID. All right, fine. Okay. He even said, hey, man, I don't hate him. I just, hope he's not going to get sick or anything like that. It's just, it was just part of, it was just funny to you, right? It's just funny. But I didn't expect it to kind of roll into what it did. I thought it was going to be more low key than that, right? I wasn't expecting that. It looks like Andrew wants to pop in here. If you can tell him that, Charles, if he wants to pop in.
Yeah, I'll text him back.
So, and I want Andrew to join in to pop in here because this is going to be one of the most epic.
He joined. He's going to hear this.
One of the most epic rants and we've had ever, and this is the most satisfying of your petty sagas because it has come to a head because it's not just you this time. Because look, I was on the Packers bandwagon, right? And I'd be like, Aaron Rodgers not that bad of a guy. He does the State Farm commercials. He looks pretty cool. And I've been like that for the last couple of years. Well, you've had this sort of this solo crusade against the man. And it's like, okay, fine. And we've all seen the relationship with him and his family and how much they all hate each other. And he dated Danica Patrick and stuff like that. And now he's got the whole Californian, I don't even know how to describe it, vibe to him right now. And he goes on the Pat McAfee show. And I guess friend of the program, because Andrew met him. So we'll just say that.
We
considering
also
what
we
kind
also
of
love Pat McAfee because he commentates on SmackDown.
That's true. He's a big wrestling aficionado. Andrew, are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. It goes on a Pat McAfee show, and it's kind of funny the memes people popped out with essentially he if there was a bingo card of anti-vax rhetoric, Aaron Rodgers hit all of the things. You got bingo. You got bingo from it. We heard everything, and the title of this episode is SG 121, sponsored by Evermectin, because of course it is. This is all funny to me. Now, mind you, me personally, I really don't care. I just find it funny. This is all so funny to me, and the fact that it ties into this our own I call our show our own personal show lore makes it all the more satisfying. And we're gonna get Charles, who's gonna come in here and finally he's vindicated. He's been vindicated. Charles has been vindicated for this 3 year crusade, and it's finally been vindicated. So here we go, Charles. Here we go. Oh
I
man.
feel I feel this is only appropriate because we started the show with Spider-Man, but I'm gonna sing you the most bombastic, fantastic song of 2004 that wasn't Crazy Love with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Actually, I think that was 2003. It's Dashboard's Confessionals Vindicated from Spider-Man 2. Hope dangles on a string like slow spinning redemption, whining in, whining out. And then he goes, vindicated, I am selfish, I'm wrong. He's just putting it out there, I'm vindicated. Boys, I am right, I swear I knew it all along, but I am flawed, and I have read it up so well. I am swear to know, swear to so to self. There's so much songs. The other song I would use in comparison to this is Johnny Cash's God's Gonna Cut You Down. You know what I say? You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, God's gonna cut you down. What's in the dark comes down the light. To answer your question, this California look that he's looking for right now is being a Big Lebowski on a diet. That's the first thing. He showed up with the Pat McAfee show with the Star Wars not Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker shirt. First off, that really should tell you, out of all the Star Wars shirts from the movies to watch, you're going to watch the one that gives you no such context to any of the things that they're collecting to. Because you made no sense, just like Rise of Skywalker. Congratulations, Aaron. What did I say last week on the show, guys? I said he can't handle that criticism. He's soft. He's soft. He's basically the football equivalent of the Parasophilus. Andrew, I need you to Google Parasophilus.
Parasaurolophus.
I can't say it, man. I can barely say my own name. Come on, give me a break here. Parasophilus, and then look at Expelliarmus, and then look at Nikola Jokic. But he goes around, he tells people, he says in August that he's been immunized. He goes on this whole thing. Then he goes on the Pat McAfee show saying that he's taking a combination of vitamin C, ivermectin, all these other things, and then proceeds to go on and get defensive because he's saying that he didn't lie to the media. He only stated things that are different. And then everybody's just trying to be like, but that's a lie. It's an omission of truth. And it's a mission of truth because you don't want your opinion to literally be influenced and attacked. And you go on this whole soapbox craze of that you believe that cancel culture is going to come at me, that the woke left's not going to like me, or the right's going to be anti-vaxxing. But I don't think either side's going to look at you like that, Aaron. I think they're just going to look at you as a putz. They're going to look at you as for somebody who's 37 years old, 38 years old, as someone who's immature to the fan base that can't take that heat and that criticism because you just didn't want to outright tell people, nah. This has been a very polarizing topic for a lot of people throughout the year of when the vaccine has become made available. And there has been people who are younger you in less fortunate situations who do not have a platform the way that you do that could have just been like, oh, are you going to get the shot on? Nah, or yeah, and that's it. And we have to deal with the blowback every single day. I get blowback for saying I'm vaccinated from people who think, ISOP's beer is the best kind of beer out there. I'm sure there's blowback for people who don't get vaccinated, and they have to deal with other people saying, "Oh, you understand, your people are at risk." Everybody is dealing with criticism on a topic that is prevalent through all of not just this country, every country in this world, and you have a platform to be like, "Yeah, I'm immunized," and then because you get this little soapbox with your buddy Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk, who played with you, by the way, and you explain your whole logic, and then you drop face. If you watch that clip, the minute he says ivermectin, you see AJ Hawk going like, cut it, and then you try to get another bite of the apple by going back on the same show, who's always going to take you because no other sports group is going to have access to a megastar, one ring kids, megastar to have on that platform, the Pat McAfee show. He's certainly going on ESPN, NFL Network, and try to once again save face. It is disastrous. Tiger Woods PR worked better, I think, than Aaron Rodgers going on right now, man. All these disasters, because it's not that you did anything wrong. You just, is this fair to say, you thought that your opinion was more important than really what it was? I kind of think so. And it feels good because my whole predication on was him as a player, where I was like, I get it, but I don't get it anymore. I know where he was 10 years ago to make everybody lap him up and think he's so fantastic, but that has come and gone. And all people did was filter the blame onto Mike McCarthy, Tom Capers, all these other guys. But this was a storm of shit. Not a shitstorm, but a storm of shit that had been brewing since last season when we got into the off season. That Jordan Love had been he was drafted out, he was drafted in basically. He's feeling like he's getting phased out. Rodgers doesn't know if he want to come back. He played this whole thing. It was like, oh, I'm probably gonna retire. I don't know. So you already brought in unwanted, unnecessary drama, and now you put even further drama because what has happened, guys? You're not vaccinated. You're saying you're immunized, but guess what that doesn't come into? It's basically saying that you're not within the protocols of protection that needs the NFL. And it so happens that the Green Bay Packers have had a high proliferation of positive COVID testing the last couple of weeks. So you basically maybe put the eyes on your organization for bad protocols because they gave you an exception because they collared you like the baby that you are. You should literally join up with Nikola Jokic and join the ABC Little Children Daycare, and maybe they can teach you how to win instead of saying me, right? Oh, mic drop.
Oh man.
I kept it brief for y'all because Andrew's in, and I want to hear his voice.
News just came out a few minutes ago.
Okay.
So the Packers have been fined $300,000. Rodgers and wide receiver Alan Lazard were each fined $14,650. The Packers were fined because, let's see, hold on.
Because Aaron Rodgers won't wash his hair.
Well, yeah.
Let me search Packers fine on Twitter while you're looking that up. Let's see. They did indeed, according to Lindsey Jones, the league did indeed fine the Packers $300,000. I'm getting an echo on my end from speaker. And Aaron Rodgers and Alan Lazard, $14,650 each for COVID protocol violations. Those include some instances of the players not wearing masks in the building, including press conferences and attending the Halloween party. So that's according to the discipline negotiated by the NFL and NFLPA. Okay, so that just popped out. So $300,000 to the team, and
For a team that's publicly owned, that's hard, man.
And $14,650 for Rodgers and Lazard for the Halloween party. So there you go. I wonder what he went as for Halloween.
He was John Wick.
Oh well.
What's he gonna do? Because he's gonna attack the COVID antibody. He's like, all right, you can't get me.
So there you go.
What a wacko.
Oh man. So, Andrew, do you have any opinions about this? Now knowing that the saga across all of this.
I mean, well, first, can we say this is one of the fastest falls from grace that I've ever experienced. The guy went from, I mean, look, just a few weeks ago, he was lauded and, pats on the back for saying, I still own you, Chicago. Everyone thought that was great. Everyone loved his Halloween costume as being John Wick. Discount double check. It's like the guy could do no wrong. He was on Jeopardy. People thought that Jeopardy would be in his future. Hell, I thought, it's perfect. Jeopardy is going to be selecting its host. They're shooting shows right now with Mayim Bialik through, I think, February. I mean, the timing is perfect. He retires after this season. And this is my thinking before all this happened. I was thinking he'll retire after the season. He'll slot right in on Jeopardy. It'll be perfect. He's thrown that away for sure. Aside from he's an idiot for taking ivermectin and listening to fucking Joe Rogan. Jesus Christ. But more than that, I think all people like that are idiots, but, as long as you're not hurting anybody else, sure, go ahead and be an idiot. But the fact that he says, I may have deceived people. No, you lied. You said I'm immunized. That's like saying,
I said the equivalent of it's just a razor bump, baby, nothing to worry about. That's what Aaron Rodgers said. But I said that in the chat.
You said that.
I don't know.
I think you said that last episode, actually.
And greatest hits, guys.
Yeah.
Like that, you can't pull the. Well, I was immune. No. There are only two ways you can be immunized against something. One is to get the damn thing, and the other is to get a vaccine. Those are the only way you can get immunized.
Technically, third would be dead, and we're not that lucky right now. If you're a Chicago Bears fan, that's what they want.
Right. Death is pretty kind of prevents you from getting any diseases. But to say that you're immunized when you know full well that you are contravening the NFL's requirements. This is on. I would say this is on level of stupidity with Evander Kane, who gave a fake immunization card even though it wasn't required.
Yeah, and Evander Kane needs the money, by the way. So yeah.
Right. He's getting fined money he don't have. But like I said, my take is if you're going to be an idiot to yourself and don't harm anyone else. But he not only is he an idiot, there was on SNL during their opening monologue they referenced this.
That's our title cover for today.
Oh right. And he said, yeah, I was totally immunized. I told the guys everything is going to be fine while I'm in a huddle, breathing in their faces 3 inches away with my wet mouth. Like, you're an NFL roster, if I remember correctly, is 52 people. So you got 52 people, not to mention the, 20-some players on a practice roster. You're putting every single one of them at risk. Even if all of them are vaccinated. And bear in mind, offensive, defensive linemen, they are so at risk for adverse effects of COVID because they're all massively overweight. And that's another discussion for another day. But they've got sleep apnea. They've got a load of health issues. So any one of them was unvaccinated for any reason, he's putting them at serious risk of severe illness or death. And that would be on his hands. Luckily, that doesn't appear to be the case that anyone got severely sick because of Aaron Rodgers. But it's kind of like DUI. Just because you didn't kill anybody doesn't mean that it's okay for you to do it. So
Indeed.
I liked Aaron Rodgers. I thought he would have been a great Jeopardy host. You know, I mean, a little bit weird that he's dating Shailene Woodley, but whatever, or engaged, I forget. It's a little bit of a large age gap, but you do you. It's legal. It's like, good God Almighty.
Yeah.
My opinion of him did like to call it a 180 is being nice. It's like when a 180 and down 90 degrees. Like there's a roller coaster in Tampa where the rail goes actually beyond 90 degrees going down. That's what happened. It's gone beyond 90 degrees. It's going backward now and down. Like, Jesus. It's I don't have enough words for it.
Yeah, it was, and I already prefaced this where I really, I mean, look, I don't get into the whole political thing anyways. That's a whole other thing for a whole other show and stuff like that. And I'm getting the echo again, by the way. But it's it's just hilarious to me how the bingo card thing, how he hit every single point. It was like he was trying to 100% speed run the anti-vaxxer video game, Anti-Vaxxer 64. and he did it. And he did it. He speed ran it. He set the record. So he 100%ed it. And it was just hilarious. And seeing the reaction on Pat McAfee's show of the two hosts when he just started saying it, it's like, oh my God. They knew they had something there. And look, mind you, of course, Pat McAfee's has a show to promote and a show he wants to continue to grow, right? And it's big enough, right, already, but he wants to be bigger. And he knew. He's like, oh, this is about to get bigger. And it was great. It was great television, or whatever you want to call it, internet television, what have you. This has been great sports theater for us, for guys on the show, and once more, this has been great for our own internal lore. It feels like this has...
Have you guys ever watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes, of course.
So you know the vindication gif, right? Or the scene?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Vindication!
And we are finally here after so many years. This is great. This is great. I'm so happy with the way this turned out. I'm very happy with this. Like I'm so at like let's say if the Yankees had fired Aaron Boone, like this would never have reached that level. Because it just two Aaron guys, man. Charles, you have something against guys named Aaron, huh?
Yeah, man. How are you gonna have two A's? How are you gonna have two A's?
Aaron.
Karen doesn't have two A's, but you being a Karen Rodgers as is, bud.
Oh boy. So there you go.
Did you guys see the Karen Rodgers memes though?
Oh yeah. And I have these memes of Aaron Rodgers put in my veins, man. Because I've been living that dream.
Karen Rodgers. Oh man. So, all right. So Andrew, we have had a ton of technical difficulties in this show. So this is probably not going to run as long because I need to figure it out. The show has crashed twice already. And I don't know what's going on. Your mic is incredibly like low right
We
now
got hacked
as
from
well.
Serbia.
I
I'm
can
telling
hear
you,
you,
man.
but it's not as high as Charles's mic, and I don't know why.
Hold
So
on, let me
there's
try something.
there's a few things that have happened this episode, and I kind of get an echo sometimes. So yeah, you figure that out. But a few things have happened in the show that have, and it might be, and you know what, we can put on tinfoil hats. It might be a whole thing. Aaron Rodgers didn't want us to get to this point, right? I'm just saying.
You mean
You know?
Nikola Jokic?
Or yeah, well, he already heard that. Or McDonald's is retaliating for our horrendous plug for the McRib earlier this episode. Um, because yes, we are sponsored by the McRib this episode.
Andrew, I went so far as saying that even I wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
You know what I put in my body.
And that
I'm
is-
basically Critter for fast food from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, exactly. You are
Oh, cricket, not Critter.
Yeah,
Or is it
rickety
cricket? It's
cricket.
cricket.
There we go. Yeah, rickety
rickety
cricket.
cricket. There
Yeah.
we go.
So, are you there, Andrew? I think he's trying to figure out his own technical difficulties.
The
Well then,
Jokic brothers killed our boy.
okay, now he's popped back in. All right, Andrew.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much
Much
better. There we go. Well, while we have you here, and while the computer hasn't exploded, let's run through the gamut of college football.
Okay.
Because Manny forever, everybody. Manny forever. Manny forever.
I think Manny Diaz has saved his job. I hate to say it, but I mean the Huskers are keeping Frost for another year. And honestly, I think this is going to sound weird and counterproductive, but I think it's actually for the best if if they keep Diaz, and let me explain why. Right now, the coaching market is very volatile. Diaz sucks, but he's at least keeping the team more or less bowl eligible every year. He's not Willie Taggart, where they lost 2 straight seasons at FSU. The problem is if you keep switching coaches so much, eventually you basically break down your system. Quarterbacks particularly, they don't respond well to change. They prefer routine. They prefer to have the same offensive coordinator, the same scheme, same recruiting pipelines. Like I said, Diaz isn't horrible. He's just average. There's a lot changing. Like UCF is now a Power 5 job. That was a big problem. Was that Scott Frost left for Nebraska, which admittedly that one's a little bit different because that was his alma mater. But you see Justin Fuente, Matt Rule at one point before he went to the Carolina Panthers, Tom Herman, Willie Taggart, Charlie Strong. I could go on and on and on. These coaches would jump because they were going from a G5 school with basically they're at the ceiling to a Power 5 job with infinitely more money, infinitely more resources. So you've got UCF, Houston, BYU, and Cincinnati all making that jump. So instantly those are jobs that normally Luke Fickell, admittedly, he is under consideration for the USC job. But Cincy being in a Power 5, I know they're not there yet, but they're going to be there in 2 seasons. So there's actually light at the end of the tunnel for the Luke Fickles of the world to say, just stay a little bit, my money's going to increase.